So I started some of the process. I put the tape on. As you can see, the brick pattern through it. Now we're just going to cut along the edges. As you can see, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can have it overlap a little bit. It's no big deal because then the stucco will just cover it up a little or expose more. It's no big deal. And I'm going to add a couple little patches that aren't even there. Just by cutting it and then spraying it, it'll spray right over top of the brick. And you can actually chip some of it off and expose brick randomly. So you see brick now, but when you spray the stucco spray, texture spray, that'll cover it up. Tricky spot is this little spot right in the middle. I do want to try and keep this one. Again, a nice sharp blade definitely helps in this process. Okay, and there we go. It's ready for the texture spray. You got to touch up, or if you want to cut out any other little spots, you can do that and expose as much as you want. All right, so this is one coat of the texture spray. You can see it covers a bit. I'm going to do a second coat. You can do multiple coats on this, and if you go heavy in a couple little spots, it kind of slumps like some stucco that you might see. And it gives a different look. This is a little bit newer. If you just do one coat, it's a fine grit and fairly smooth. But you can also get that lumpy stucco look too if you do two or three coats. I took it and I sprayed another coat, and as you can see, there's a couple heavy spots, a few heavy spots here and there. I'm going to try a different technique and take a paper towel and dab it. I tried over here, and it gives you that rougher stucco look. So this is something different that I had never done before. Let's see how it turns out. Turn the pattern a little bit. So I actually kind of like that. That looks like it's a good texture. It's that little bit chunkier texture that you would see on stucco, some stucco finishes. I'm going to hit it actually with some more and kind of cover the most of the area. Let's see how that turns out. So I put another light coat across the whole thing, a couple little blotchy areas, so I can get this texture across the whole thing. Let's see. It's all about experimenting, seeing what works. Not sure if that's picking up on the camera really well, but oops, you can see some texture there. Let that dry and start touching that up with some tan colors for stucco. So here's the dried wall with the second coat, a little bit heavier spots, and I used the towel to add some texture. Interesting is you can see some of the white. That was when the towel actually lifted off the other layer that dried, and it exposed some of the white primer. That actually has kind of a neat effect. Once I kind of paint this a little bit more, get some tans and stuff on here, and weather it, that actually would add another layer because it's actually a little bit smooth in those spots. So I'm going to actually keep that and see how it goes. Happy little accident. Okay, so we're going to add a little variety of texture colors to this wall now. I have two colors in the tray. They are my favorite color. If you saw one of our other videos, suede. That's a good tan color. And this one is desert sand. They're in the tray here. So I'm going to just kind of melt them on, random patterns, mix them, blend them, and see how they turn out. Okay, so now I dipped my brush in the water a little bit, and this will kind of mute the colors together before they completely dry. I'm just letting the water do its thing. I'm not even kind of mushing, I'm just pressing straight down, and it takes away some of the harsher edges and just gently blends the colors together right on the material, right on your piece. Kind of gives that soft edge to it. I'm going to let that dry and see how that goes. I'm going to apply the same thing to the other side wall here and get that going now that I have all the colors out. We'll see how that comes out. Okay, so I'm really digging how this turned out. You get that variation in color with the grayish tan and the yellow tan of those two colors, suede and desert sand, muted together on top of that texture. In person it looks even better, but once we start peeling off, you can see the purple tape underneath still blocking off the brick. When that peels off, this wall is going to pop. It looks like really old stucco. Okay, with the wall dry, we're going to use tweezers and my hobby knife, X-Acto blade. We'll start peeling off the purple tape to expose the brick and see how this thing turned out. All right, so there you go. That's prior to weathering. That white stripe, other than being a good band, is going to be painted metallic to make it look like an old rusty beam that was supporting the third floor. We got weathering to do. We got to touch up that beam, but overall, that's a pretty easy technique. Just takes a few steps, layers, and you can achieve a pretty good looking stucco wall with damage. The hardest part is to remember where you had all the little pieces of tape, so you don't forget to pull them off. And if you don't like it, you can actually kind of chip off some more areas and expose some, or take a brush and cover some up. So this is an ever expanding and changing look if you wanted it to.